Mic on.
Hello, hello. It is a Worldbuilding Wednesday, and we are going to do some town mapping tonight. Try to get some of that done up and get those places named for both our fantasy and sci-fi settings, as well as hopefully establish some preliminary trade routes and, determine what areas are producing what. And I've already got a husky in the room with me over here bugging the fire out of me because, of course, I just started streaming. Say hello, Rocky. Oh, never a dull moment, huh? Now, I'm sure he's going to headbutt my hand off the mouse a couple times here, so y'all will miss all of that, but I won't, because I'll probably be fussing and cussing when he does it. But that's just me. Okay, let me see why hexographer is... Oh, there it goes. It is showing now. Alright, so real quickly, I've got fantasy town names built out for human, elven, dwarven, tabaxi, Yuan-ti, dragonborn, and even a handful of Sahagin. Now he's moved to the other side. Pup alert. All you can see is the tail. There he is. So I've got those to plug in. And then for our sci-fi setting, since I haven't really settled in on Traveler versus Starfinder yet, I'll probably just label human cities tonight. Just for the sake of getting those done. And then we will flip into some trade routes in the fantasy setting and some trade routes for the sci-fi setting. So, all that being said, I'm going to pop open the map and shrink Chrome out of the way, at least for y'all. Let's transition this over here real quick. Oh, what map are we starting with? Or what map do we want to start with? Okay, so let's start with our fantasy setting and see how that goes. Alright, let me break out the old spreadsheet here. And I think as I use these, I'm going to probably change their color on my maps, or on my document. And let's get some labeling going here. Let's see. That's probably a little bit big yet. Let's see. Let's drop it down. See if it's more usable. This is going to be... So if you're wondering why these two are back to back, it's going to be a castle. Well, let me look at that. Yes, it's going to be a castle and a town. So we're going to go with that right there. Okay. And then we need to back up a little bit. Pan over a little more. And this is where the fun begins. Well, I think it's fun just because it's great to kind of start building places to tie into story. So if Cliff Crest is the town and the castle, then we're going to mark. How am I going to mark these? If they're done. You know what? I think I may just not worry about that. Okay, so we've got to come up, looking at my map, to the next area I want to do is this central town you see in the middle of the forest. This is going to be an elven village, or an elven city, I guess we'll call it, since it's going to be kind of the kingdom of the wood elves in the central forest. So I'm going to pop over to our list of names, and I think I'm just going to copy paste because I will mangle this if I try to type it in again. And we're going to fill the woods with the name. Alright, for kicks and grins. Okay, so these towers, these two towers are going to represent my two dwarven clans on this continent. So we want to grab an appropriate dwarven city name. That might be kind of hard to see on those white mountains. Oh, who's coming to see his daddy? Huh? Is Sam coming to see his daddy? He doesn't come in here very often when I'm streaming. That's my big guy. Yeah. Oh, scratch that woof, daddy. Scratch that woof. Scratch that woof. Yeah. Hey, big guy. Oh, Lord, here comes sister. Oh. Look, Tanks. Come here. Fluffy butt. Yes, you are a fluffy butt. Lord have mercy. Okay, where were we? Oh, I was getting ready to label a dwarven fortress. I think I'm going to label this one above. Oh, Lord. Of course they want to start singing and talking while I'm streaming, and this headset has absolutely zero noise suppression for the background. Alright, so if we're going to go with Stonehelm for the northern one, because it's going to be more up in the mountainous regions, a lot more rock. And then I think for the lower one, I like, oh my gosh, dogs, y'all are killing me. I like Iron Hall. You know, maybe I should share this document back out with y'all visibly here for a minute, just for opinions. Alright, so I'm looking this section here, which I don't know that y'all can read. Uh-oh, they're getting crazy out there. Lord have mercy. There we go. Bigger font. So I like Iron Hall. I think we're going to go with Iron Hall. I don't know what y'all think. Only a handful of y'all here tonight. Nobody's chatting with me so far, other than to say hello. Let's go with Iron Hall. I wonder if that, yeah, I'll have to set that magnification for all of my windows. You know, that might be a good thing to do. Just as a matter of course for streaming. There we go. I'm hoping y'all can read that worth of crap. Make that a little bit bigger. Yeah, it's actually readable from what I can tell. Alright, so Iron Hall it is. Let's go label a town. No, we're not labeling Iron Hall. We are Stonehelm. We are labeling Iron Hall. Okay. Alright, so we've got, and I may edit these a little later or reposition them if it'll let me. Let me see. Will it let me? Oh yeah, okay. Yes, I'm fairly new with hexographer / worldographer, so bear with me as I get my bearings. Okay. These two are my most northern towns here, but I have an even further northern town over here in what's going to be the Imperial or the Imperium, one or the other. So I think that is going to get labeled Winter Point, because it's going to be our most northern town. Or should we save that? That really needs to be a different color up there. That's not a human town up there. That's either going to be Dwarven or Giants. I'm leaning towards Giants just for story effect. And also from the perspective of story effect that this channel, which in its narrow sections is no more than the width of the English Channel, 20 miles across, is in the heaviest of winters is going to freeze solid, which is going to allow our friends to the north here to raid south, but only in the harshest of winters. So, anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself in terms of story capacity. Let's pop back over here. We are going to label this the Salt Hold. Okay. And then what do we want to label? I'm looking at how my towns are laid out. I might come over here and zap one of these. Although these castle / towns serve as a good defensive point for you wondering why it's named that? Because this was the first landing, the first town and settlement as the empire moved west across the ocean and landed here. So it was their first mooring, so more home. Anyways, I'm having fun with naming things. going to label? I want to pan over to my northern. Now we are doing some stone dwarves here in the Imperial Continent in the higher mountain ranges. But dwarves aren't so much doing a kingdom as they are a clan, so they're going to be more of a clannish type people. This is going to be my second most northern town here. I hope those are good and readable. Technically, Frostmere is further north, looking at the grids, than Winterpoint by about 25 miles. We will go with that. And in case you're wondering, I'm focusing on the younger nations to the west. Yes, that's just me doing my thing here. So bear with me. And each of these towns is going to, as the world develops, is going to have a history and its own thing. So, but luckily I don't have to do all that at once. We can do that as we play and build some story out, and so. Okay, let's go see what we've got in terms of, I've labeled a couple of my dwarven kingdoms there. I've got 2 over here. I think we're going to change our label here for it to work. Let me see if black shows up. Let's see, outline color, label color. If I do a black label, that's still very difficult to read, isn't it? What if I bold it? And see, that makes me want to go bold all my labels. Just for the sake of visibility. So let's go do that. So let's get these labels bolded, make them more readable, both for y'all and for me, and for my players in future endeavors. Okay. Let's pan over. We missed Frostmere. There we go. There we go. Okay. I want to finish up over here as much as I can. So I'm thinking this is going to be there's one of my bays. Or would that be better off over here? Let's make that Driscolley Bay. Alright, let me find one of these towns that's edged up against the forest. I would say probably this one, because it's in the middle of the light forest before it transitions into some hills and into some heavier forest. So I think this is a good place to call Oak Fall. Let me get rid of my label, because it likes to stick with my cursor afterwards. Need to label this. I think I may eradicate one of these. Probably that one. Okay. That eradicated it. Now we got to label it. Okay, so we've got a couple of cities along the northern edge, and we got a bunch of cities along the southern edge that we need to flesh out. All right. Oh, wow. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Trying to get my way up to 25, so every follower counts. Oh, and don't worry about being late. We are drawing cities or mapping cities tonight. Hopefully having some fun in the process, or at least I'm having some fun, because it's allowing me to kind of do a little thought process and verbalization of my civilization planning, as far as putting nations together, and dwarves and elves and humans and lions and tigers and bears, oh my. So just a little bit of everything going on. I feel like one of these towns here, or maybe up in here, needs to be some kind of crossing between actually this one, because it's going to be the only town between east and west. So, well, there's one there. We might move and space these out a little bit, just because I feel like, let's do this. If I, there we go. Now, I haven't tried this. Does copy paste work with this badass? Yep. Just moving him over one, but still, every little bit helps, because we want these to be kind of spaced out in the northern, just because it represents the more difficult environment. Varick's Crossing has not been labeled. And that's going to be the crossing from Atrum to Sailor's End. There we go. Let me go see how we spelled that. Better yet, why don't I just highlight and copy paste? Save me from typing and mangling tonight. There we go. Alrighty. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 8 towns on the northwestern continent to label or to eradicate if I decide to do edits. Who do we have? It's out here in the green. Let's you know, what's scary is I've got this whole continent in the middle that's going to need city names. So I've got to generate some massive city name rosters yet to make this workable. I think this one needs to go. And then I'm tempted to remove this one. And then what I'll do here, will it let me move these? There we go. And do I feel the need to continue to pair fortifications and towns? You know, for the new continent or for the colonies, yeah, I think I do for now. Just at least for their major locations. For their smaller locations, probably not so much, but... Alright, labels. Let me pop over here for just a minute. Okay, we've already labeled High Watch. Sorry, I don't mean to make y'all motion sick tonight. Don't mean to make myself motion sick tonight. And then we need to label this northern town here. I'm tempted to move him. Well, Wait a minute. Where did Direbrook go? Did I destroy a town on accident? Okay. Yes, I'm tweaking the map as I go. DM's discretion. Sorry. So we've got an elf kingdom, 2 dwarven clans, and then a lot of men. We've got 1, 2, 3 towns left to identify on this continent. I think this will be the town and fortification of Bannerguard. And that leaves us 3 to do. Okay. It's nice to see it start to take shape and taking shape though. I think for player launch, as soon as they finish Tomb of Annihilation, which, by the way, I think we will be playing Saturday. Might be playing a little later than we have been. I just need to confirm because I have a family event out of town to attend to, but we will be home Saturday evening. So I'm thinking stream will probably be after probably 6:30 Central Time Saturday night. But I just need to firm that up with my players, make sure everybody's on board and there are no schedule conflicts. Yeah, I need about another 20 to 30 town names built out for labeling the central continent. Alright, we got this one left. Am I missing anybody? I think that's everybody for the Northwest continent. What are we going to call this town? Boyerton or Melthara? We got a lot of M's. Got a 1B. What else we got? So we got our elven capital in the middle of the woods. We'll have some small elven villages around scattered throughout the woods, but those don't need to be on the main map. The main map is the main map. I don't know which name I want to choose. And I think I moved a name. Let's go with Melgata. No, I want to save that for Imperial use. Let's use something different here. Let's go with Either Bernard or Boyerton. Well, let's just go with Boyert. There we go. All right. Northwest continent is fleshed out. I think I'm going to move this label up to here. If I put that label there, does that get confusing? Let's keep it there for now. Okay. Panning over. We went with Folkestone here. I think that's a little hard to see. Is it okay to see and leave it as white just for consistency in my font colors? Let's go have some fun. Let's come down here, because this is going to be our one Dragonborn location in our list of names. Let me share that back out with y'all real quick. Let's flip Chrome back to active so y'all can see. So I'm thinking if we're going to go with clan names, as you know, basically the name of the town is the home of a clan, then if there is one Dragonborn town or one Dragonborn city that is basically our hidden city of scholars, then that would be the lead clan of the Dragonborn kingdom, so to speak. Let's go plug that in over there. Kind of hard to read against that font. And then I kind of have the same thought, you know, there will be smaller villages hidden in the mountains here, especially since they have eminently hostile asshole neighbors. But I want to kind of follow the same thought process with my Sahagin kingdom to the west in the water. One central town that's the capital, and then maybe a couple small villages around it. So it kind of lends itself to storytelling and writing, which, you know, that's part of what I got to do as a DM. So this is going to be Dragonborn down here. What I need to find out is there a way, if I'm looking at a terrain tile, is there a way to put a border on it? Because that would be a great way to map borders between kingdoms. Let me see something. I'm just kind of wiggling here to see what we come up with. Well, I could have picked a better color, right? Now, how do I get rid of it? There we go. Don't want to do that for now. I've got to do a little mapographer tutorial before I get into the crazy with that. Now, our Yuan-Ti capital is going to be here. And that is definitely not going to show up worth a damn. Black. Black like they're evil little frickin' souls. Why not? Let's see, I have 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 8 more cities in this region. And only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 names built. So I might have to come up with a couple more city names. But so this is kind of going to be an unexplored region down here, this devastated land. So I think for now, I'm going to leave the rest of these cities unlabeled. I think I'm going to label this easternmost one, because chances are it's where somebody may run into these folks at some point. It's on a coastal landing. So maybe label the coastals and leave the interiors alone for now. Well, hell, it looks like they're mostly. Okay. Let's go with that, at least for labeling purposes. Well, I thought I clicked. Okay. So I've got 3 others on the outer coast. Interior ones I'm going to leave for now. I tried to come up with some unique naming conventions for these towns. Just as I was writing. So that will leave us 3 interior towns to name, or for me to eradicate and revise, whatever. Okay. Did that use all of my Yuan-Ti names I had generated? It seems like I have 1 left. Six. Yeah, I had 1 left. I'll come, yeah, we'll name these as we adventure, because one of these is going to be a lost city, aka like the lost city of Omu. I think that's a good way to play that out, because that also leaves me a lot of option for expansion as a DM to kind of map as we go and create things instead of having everything locked into stone. All right. So our northeast is going to be Tabaxi. Why not? Why not have some fun? I've been having a field day with the feline peoples with my gaming group. We'll have to identify what could possibly be a good capital for a nomadic people, which will be the Tabaxi. And that's not to say you're not going to encounter humans here, but these are mostly going to be the Empire is going to leave the Tabaxi alone because they're pretty much peaceful. That's how I feel about it. I think this may be my Tabaxi capital. Capitable? Or are we going to go with elves? You know what? I might go with elves there. Let me see. I might rearrange a few of these. So we're going to have two smaller dwarven kingdoms over here, or clans. Give us plenty of room for growth. Should we drop some elves in the northeastern subcontinent? What do y'all think? Give them a backstory as to how and why they're there. I say intentionally, I have not given myself thought process, I should say, for having any elves on the central imperial continent. Let's see. Just something to think about. Alright, so I kind of want at least one more Tabaxi town name here. I'm thinking make this. So this is a Tabaxi, 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 Tabaxi. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 Tabaxi towns. Let's plug one here in the middle. And then we're going to make this human, 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 human. These on the west coast, I don't know yet. Am I sticking with Tabaxi? How did we end up with Soothing Mist and Soothing Shore as city names for Tabaxi? How about we go with Quiet Shore? Farthest from the Empire's reach in terms of the northeastern continent. Well, that would actually be Musing Wood, would be the farthest. Okay, so now we've got to name a couple of human settlements. I think I'm going to go with the north and south mate here and here. Okay. And then we'll name this something in the middle. So that leaves me 2 northern locations that need to be named and a southern location that needs to be named. And now that just leaves me 2 southern. You know what? I think I'm going to follow the same model here. What I'm going to do, let's shift some stuff around here. Do I want to label all of my towns, or do I want to leave some stuff open? So there's 2 here at the south, 1 here at the north. Let's leave those open for future expansion. I kind of want to go back and strip some from here now with that thought process. But then again, this is going to be your newer kingdom or your newer lands. So I feel like they might need to be better known than some of these off in the, lesser explored areas. That makes me think like maybe this label needs to move to a different town. And maybe unlabel 1 or 2 of these. This one's more forested. This one. What do y'all think? Yeah, DM's discretion. I'll have to come up with a story. As to why the elves are separated. Was there a schism between elven families and some moved west? I love the Tabaxi namings of like feelings or adjectives, soothing or faint or little. Their naming conventions are kind of cool. So, with that being said, I'm thinking Little Glade needs to become Elven. And sorry, I didn't realize I still had Chrome up and in the way. Now, the crazy is I've got to remember what's an elven town, what's a human town, what's a tabaxi. You know, I think for the most part I can tell by looking at the name what town it's going to be. You know, Feanor, since your elven elves have a Fey ancestry, Feanor is going to be an elven town. So I think we're okay with that. Let's jump over. I think we're okay down here. I think we're okay on the northeastern continent. I think we're okay with the northwestern. Now we've got this huge imperial territory. And I think we're going to follow the same methodology of not naming everything, because, you know, the empire is going to be the oldest civilization in the world. So my thought process is, yeah, those cities are all going to be well known, but unless you've traveled the empire, you may not know exactly where that city's located. So I'll come back and generate some more names this week just to build out. But as far as labeling every single one of these towns, you can see I've got probably as many towns in this one continental area than I do on the entire map. Tell you one thing I want to do. I want to name this. And then I have another one over here. So let's digress to the poles for a little while. And I think this probably, oops, that is not what I highlighted and tried to copy paste. Let's put this in black. Very hard to see just because of the way the mountains are on it. I think maybe label it like that. Or like this. I hate to actually label something underneath, but that's still okay. Let's find a better way to label this. Lighter is worse. How about yeah, that's moderately horrid and unreadable. I think black is going to have to do it. I may just have to put this label way to the side to make it viewable. This is going to be an unknown up here. It is going to be an elven kingdom. as well. You know, if we can have frost giants, we can have snow elves. Alright, and then for this other area over here, let me pan that over a little bit more. Let's kind of get that center screen. What are we going to go with? I think this will be... Well, no, because that's getting a little close to Game of Thrones in terms of naming. You had Hardhome in Game of Thrones. So I don't want to call it Hard Hall. This is one thing my city name generation I did not address, was coming back to what I wanted to name things. You know what? Let's go with... This will be up here, will be Skyforge, because it's going to be under the northern lights year-round. There's Brian's logic. Okay, so let me pan out. So we've got the Imperial Continent to address. I labeled... I don't necessarily like that Folkstone. Let me pull that out for a dwarven name there in the Empire. This will be Smithhaven. And then jump back over. I have one more. I have one more here. I don't know if y'all can see that real well, but there is a castle indicated right there. Let me get it with the cursor, maybe. Why is it not letting me select? But it's right here. I wonder why it's not letting me select. Oh, because I'm selecting it as a label and not as a feature, like a dummy. Because I had the wrong one selected, or the wrong object type selected. So I've got to come up with a name for another dwarven town, or capital, in this area. I think we're going to go with Glimmerhold for there. There we go. Might need to move that a little bit just to make me happy. There we go. Alright, so I've got an F ton of imperial cities that need to be named. Might beg, borrow, or steal some from the list. I think a lot of these here in the north I definitely want to label, because there will be times where if we're dealing with the incursion from the northern frozen wastes, I want to have names to towns, especially if I'm developing history. So just my thought process of what needs to be done and what doesn't need, or what can wait till later. Just thought process. So I think I want to name this one. I think we'll leave this one open for now. Leave that one open for now. Let's come over here and start looking at, have I used Banner Guard? I believe I have over on the western side. Yes, Banner Guard has been used. Okay. More towns than I've got names. We have not used Grey Frost. This could very well be, do this. Okay. Probably helps for y'all if I zoom this in a bit more so y'all can see better. Okay. Start putting together some of my Imperial. I don't think we used Fairmeadow. We did not. And I want it someplace that is centrally located for meadows. Well, I say I haven't used it. Let me pan over here again. Yes, I have used Fairmeadow. Yep, I've got to come up with about another 25 to 30 names. To name towns. Or start eradicating towns off the map, one or the other. All right. Yeah, I've exhausted almost all of my... Well, I have exhausted my entire roster of human city names. So that whole roster needs to double. So, but I think we've got a good grasp on this. Yeah, I need to come up with, probably, looking at this, probably at least another 25 to 30 city names for the Imperial continent. And then I think it's time to probably break off and discuss or look at. And let me bring Chrome back up. So we've kind of done a good job of mapping our fantasy world. Let's switch gears to our sci-fi setting, because we've totally ignored that map this evening so far. But let's pop over to here. And, you know, I don't have quite as many cities over here. Well, I say that, but they're scattered hither and yon a lot more. Let's start with what's going to be the down port and the deep port, because I feel like those are kind of important. It's going to sound cliche, but the deep port is going to be New Providence. And the down port's going to be Providence. Y'all can smack me around later if you don't like it. Alright, so let's turn Chrome off so you can see what I'm doing. So there we go. Deep port and down port are labeled. Alright. I'm not going to feel the need to map every city name. But we will get some of them. Let's see. I want to look at oops, got to fix my camel case. There we go. Create some of our other cities here. Let's see. This way we can get a mix of them going. Get some of these mining towns labeled up and ready to go. Actually, I want to move now that I look at how I'm doing this. There we go. And then on the other side, Let's come over here and label I'm doing Vargar and Aslan cities right now, in case you're wondering. Just to lay them out and get them in. Let's go ahead and throw some human cities out here. I really should have had it alphabetized these as I did them. So we have 4 on the southern continent and 3 on the top, and only 1 in the northwest. So let's go northwest for a little while. Let's label some ports. This is our main scientific hub in this northwestern subcontinent. And Lockmar is going to be the capital of the entire Okay, let's label, because we've labeled everything on the city, the coast at this point. Let's get something landlocked labeled. We will leave the rest of, I might want to label one more. Nah, we'll leave it for now. So let's label, get some more labels up here and in the southern continent, so you're northern and southern. Let's get at least 3 or 4 more city names thrown out here. Let's start here in the south. We got a couple of big cities in key locations. Alright, do I have an option? I was looking to see, there is a font here. I'm going to do something I haven't done so far, and that is label a bay. There we go. That looks good, if I do say so myself. Okay, turn off the italics, turn back on the bold. Let's label this one, it's landlocked. let's move over a little bit. I feel like I want to label at least 1 or 2 more on the southern. Let's see. I hadn't labeled anything on this coastal strip here, have I? We need to slap a label on something. Let's see. Welcome to the big city of redemption. Alright, let's come up here and label some more here. Oh, where do I want to label? We need to label some stuff on the west side. We got one there already on the lower east. Let's do and then so we start to flesh this out more and more, get an actual pattern going. As to what's where. So I want to label 1 or 2 more cities on the northern continent. I say label one of these interior cities. Just to have some variety. I say let's label him. He's landlocked. One more? Yeah, one more. I'd say we need to label somebody over here. Alright, let's take a look at it. Our scientific continent. Our main agricultural lands. Our main mining and industrial lands. And then we have this up here, which is forbidden to outsiders, and I'm not dropping anything on it. Or if I do, it's going to remain unlabeled for future exploration. So I think, let's pan out. Less cities in our sci-fi setting, but they're going to be larger. Just my thought process. I feel like maybe I need to label one more in the north and one more in the south. It's just my OCD kicking in. Let's do... There we go. And then one more in the south. Yeah, we didn't label maybe here or here. What else do I want to throw on the southern side? Because we haven't labeled anybody down here on the southern edge. Let's go ahead and do that. So I think that gives us a good... Oh, we got a husky alert. Hey, girl. Hey, girl. You coming to check on your daddy? Huh? Look at that tail. Look at that big fluffy tail. This is Carmen. She was our last adoption. She was a rehome from a gentleman who was facing a lot of surgeries and was no longer able to take care of her. She was 6 when we got her. And that's been 2 years. She's going to be, no, 3 years. She's going to be 9 this year. Where are you going, girl? Because it's 10, 9, and 8. Sam will be 10. Carmen will be 9. Rocky will be 8. They all act like puppies. Hey, who you hollering at? They just like to holler. Yeah? Where'd you go? Oh, she's talking to Sam right outside of my door, of course. Alright. We've got some good landmarks built up. Let's flip back over to the fantasy map. I can't do a whole lot of trade mapping yet until my Imperial continent is flushed out. But I can start thinking about it and start documenting a little bit. Most common mode of travel is going to be horse or ship. Horse and wagon. Okay. Available to different groups of people. Yes. Major trade route. You know, a lot of your northwestern continent is going to trade amongst themselves just because of the colonial mindset of wanting to be independent of the imperial nation. Yes, there will be some imperial trade, but they prefer to be self-sufficient. You know, those hard-headed colonials. It all started in 1776. Anyways, Um, in a fantasy setting, your main products are going to be timber, stone, precious metals, um, iron, silver, gold, other stones and metals, furs. You're gonna be trapping for furs. Your trade's gonna be grains, meats, foods, those kind of things. So I think our dwarven nations are gonna be mountain shepherds, sheep, goats, that kind of thing, pigs, maybe some cattle, just depending on terrain. Uh, I think my crazy elves will be predominantly vegan, just for kicks and giggles. Hey, Sam. Got another Husker. Up, who else is coming in? Nobody. They're going to wrestle outside my office. So let's flip back over here. Let's do a little song and dance here and think this through. Major trade route. Goods transported. You're going to be grains. Stuff that's stable to ship, right? Meats are not one of them. Fruits and vegetables, some, but still. So we need to think in terms of stable product. Okay. Stone is not something you're going to move a whole lot by ship, or even by horse for that matter. You're going to move it as short a distance as possible. We're going to say timber. Are you going to move a lot of precious metals? Other metals? Hey, Sam. So I probably need to break these down in terms of who's trading with who. So what's going to be your major methods of trade, of major items of trade? I mean, cloth, clothing. So we'll say textiles. So I think that's a good starting point for that, just as a thought process. So I probably need to break these down. Let's see. And I cannot type worth a damn this late. So I'm thinking in terms of trade, probably precious metals, other metals are going to be highest, then your textiles. What the heck? I've lost something. Timber and stone. Let's kill this block. Going to be the least transported item because of their weight. We're going to have some exotic transportation methods. I'd say yes. You know, I could see at planar intersections that specialized elemental powered craft, be it earth elemental powered wagons or air elemental powered balloons or airships, like in your Eberron settings. Those are going to be your more exotic methods of travel, not your common modes of travel. Those are going to be a lot more involved. So just things to think about. Okay, so I'm going to have to do some thought process here. Okay. I kind of fleshed out my trade routes and travel for sci-fi worlds the other day and had some fun with it. So that is kind of already fairly populated. Aircraft, shuttle, boat, rail, costs of each. High cost is going to be your exotic transport. Okay. So we will come back and flesh that out a little more. Oh, here comes the girl. Here she comes again. Another husky alert. Hey. Are you hiding from your brother? Why are you hiding under the edge of my desk? Mamas. Come here. Come here, girlie. Come here, girlie. Oh, you're not going to show your pretty face tonight? Them brown eyes. My big brown-eyed girl. Huh? Huh? No eyes tonight. Nope, not tonight. She's so funny. She is. Hey, come here. Come here. Yeah. Yeah. You just want some loves? Huh? You just want some loves? Oh, you want some loves, girl? Hey. There her is. Oh, there her pretty face. She is some. She goes out and comes right back. Hi. Can I help you? Can I help you? Alright, well, I think we've kind of exhausted content tonight. I need to add some city names to my roster. For trade, once I've got more cities on the map in my fantasy environment, I think I can do some trade routes between locations. So I think I can do some work there. Predominantly horse, wagon, and ship. High price is going to be your exotic transportation, transportation of metals, grains, fruit and vegetables, farm animals, textiles, timber and stone. I mean, in a fantasy setting, these are your main products. Textiles. We're going to say also furs. Timber, stone, oil. Okay. And then sci-fi setting, aircraft, shuttle, boat, rail. Lowest cost is going to be boat and rail, mid-range aircraft, high cost shuttle. That's looking at, intraplanetary and interplanetary trade between the ports and then city to city. Those need to be tweaked out a little more. But I think I need to generate some more town names and build that out a little more. So, anyways, appreciate y'all tuning in tonight. If you sat through me doing all this digging and dragging things out, I appreciate it. Can't tell you how much I appreciate it, but I do. If you like what you see, definitely hit that follow button, turn on notifications so you know when I go live. But the maps themselves are fleshing out really nicely in both settings. This is our fantasy map, just to kind of review with you this evening. Got our imperial continent I need to do some work on. I've got my colony or colonial continent built out, and then I've got a homeland for the tabaxi, which is a feline type race, in case you're wondering what that is. And then we've got the Dragonborn Scholars and their little oasis down here in the devastated lands, surrounded by Yuan-Ti badasses. That's serpent people, in case you're wondering. There will also be some others down there. And then we have our Sahagin, our merfolk here in the ocean. So we've got a very well rounded out setting and environment for fantasy gaming. Getting real close to getting ready to use it. I'm going to label some of these bays and inner seas here. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and label because I want to. This will be Battle Bay because there were a lot of battles fought here during the colonial secession. And then this will be Sky Lake, so named because it reflects the sky because it's so far up in the mountains and the woods. And then this will be Great Inner the Great Inner Sea. So I want to change this to say Driscoli. I can't even pronounce my own city name. And then this will be known as the Driscoli Bay. All right. this up here will be the frozen straits. Whoops. Up here in this narrow section. Okay. So that will help tremendously. Give us some nice labeling. Okay, if I want to rotate this, what, 45 degrees? Nope, it's going to need to be, what, 270? We're going to label this in black so it shows up down here. We're going to have some fun with this, right? So, you know, the one thing I haven't done tonight is I have not hit the save button as much as we've done. So I definitely need to mash the save button here because so much has been done. Let's go take a look at our fantasy map. We're getting close to wrapping up. I'm just doing a little tweaking to kind of flesh it out a little bit. These will be the Lockmar Straits over here. Gotta hit save on this one too. But my next stream will be Saturday night, probably around sometime between 6:30 to 7:30 Central Time kickoff. We should be playing, so I should have my D&D group, my regular group, ready to rock and roll, and they are continuing their adventures in the land of Shult, looking for the lost city of Omu. They're getting ready to reach the end of their ship's journey upriver. They're going to have to get off the boat now. That's going to put them in the jungle, so they're going to be facing threats from dinosaurs, threats from undead, the potential for disease. It's about to get really hostile and really real for them, so tune in. Let's see how they fare. They are looking for the powerful artifact known as the Soulmonger, which needs to be destroyed before it wreaks havoc on the rest of the planet. So that game will be continuing Saturday. Hope to see you there. Appreciate you tuning in tonight. As always, if you like what you see, hit that follow button, turn on notifications, and you know, anytime you want to give me feedback in chat, you can also reach me through my social media presence. We have a Facebook page for Husky House RPGs, as well as a Twitter account set up, or Twitter presence, and then of course my main website, huskyhouserpgs.com. So appreciate you tuning in. Have a great rest of your evening, and we will see you again soon.
Mic off. Charging battery.